Rapport coming in, and this is a very important encounter because Richard just beat Pragnananda in the previous round in brutal fashion, and now he takes on another young Indian, Arjun Erigaisi, and this time Rapport has the white pieces. Very exciting game, and let's see what Richard comes up with here. He's just adjusting all his pieces, cleaning the board, getting ready for the encounter. And that's how chess players usually like to do. Starts to think here for a long time actually about what he wants to play. And finally, I guess he's ready with his move. Arjun comes back, opens a bottle of water, and knight comes out to f3. Let's see if Arjun makes his move quickly here or takes his own time. He goes knight to f6. And Rapport now goes pawn to g3. He's playing the Reti system, and Arjun can copy him with g6, but he decides to go for c5. You can transpose it to the English with c4 here, third move, or you can continue with bishop g2. He plays his bishop to g2. And Arjun can now play pawn to d5. He goes knight to c6, controlling the central square. And what is Rapport's move here? He goes pawn to c4, the English opening. And black goes pawn to d5, hitting in the center. Takes, pawn takes pawn. Knight takes d5. And pawn comes up to d4. Arjun takes the central pawn. Now, one of the things that you have to notice in this position is this bishop on g2. It's an absolute monster on the long diagonal. Arjun brings his knight to b4 and now takes on c6. You can take back here, but that would be bad because queen takes queen. So he first must take on d1, breaking white's castling. And this is a well-known position. It has been played many times before, and both players seem very well versed with it. Knight comes out to c3. White has lost castling rights but has a powerful bishop. Black, on the other hand, is a little bit passive. Can bring out the bishop here. Goes bishop d7. We have Carlsen Topalov, which has happened in this line. Kramnik Kasparov as well. Ding Liren Nepomniachtchi. So it's a line of top level players. Bishop comes out to e3. And the thing is, such lines are very dangerous to be played if black is not well prepared, because white has a very small edge. You have Richard coming back to the board. And g6 is a very good move by Arjun to put the bishop on the long diagonal. The king moves to c2. The king wants to sort of go here so that the rooks are connected. But Arjun goes for a check. You can trade the bishops, but the more ambitious move is surely king b3. So the king comes up to b3. And now Arjun maybe goes wrong with bishop check. He's like, Rapport, do you want to repeat here with bishop e6? We have Vasily Ivanchuk there watching the game, Yakuboyev watching the game. But king a3 is the best move. Finds it, plays it. And Arjun now continuing with bishop f5. He wants to play e5 check, and that would put the king in trouble. So very decent and a good move is to take on c6 with a check. Rapport plays it. Bishop takes c6. And while he played a super aggressive game with Prague, this one he is trying to play very positionally. b3 is a good idea to make a square for the king here, but knight a4 also very nice. The main point being, if you play e5, I have bishop c5 to block the check with my knight here. Plays his pawn to e5, check to the king. And now Arjun puts his bishop on c5. Bishop takes c5. Knight takes c5. King to e7 played. And now where do you place your rooks? Rook c1, rook hc1, rook d1, rook fd1. He plays rook a c1. And white seems to be slightly better. The knight is well placed. The pawn is a bit weak. Arjun has to find what is the way in which he creates his play here. He takes the open file. He's ready to enter on the 7th rank. Coming back with the knight does make sense here with knight b3. But Rapport brings his rook to d1. And how does Arjun continue next? He plays his pawn to g5. I love this move. He wants to play h5. He wants to start getting his kingside pawns rolling. Rapport goes b3, just improving the position. Maybe the king will swivel around from b2 to c3. Pawn to h5 played. Very strong. And now king comes up to a4. He plays rook a b8. And knight to a6 played. Well, here Arjun can play rook takes d1, rook takes d1, rook b5, and already black is pressing here. But Arjun goes rook b6, the knight comes back. And Arjun goes back. Rapport should not go knight a6. There is a huge opportunity for Arjun, I believe, here. Because after knight a6, he's played it again. We can analyze this position actually. But take, rook b5 would be really good. Knight comes back. And they agree to a draw with rook b8. But just imagine this. Knight a6, rook d1, rook d1, rook b5. Already feels like, for example, b4 to get the knight out from here is met with bishop c2 check, game over. Let's say you go rook c1, trying to put pressure here, is met with rook d5. Rook takes c6 and you have bishop d7, losing the rook. So you can't take this pawn. I'm coming in here. You can't play rook c2. The bishop's here. So all in all, this position could have been something that Arjun could have definitely tried. But as things stand, he repeated and the players agreed to a draw. So they are discussing this right now. But Arjun keeps a very healthy spot in this tournament. He is currently on 4.5 points out of 7, which is 2 wins and 5 draws. Meanwhile, Richard Rapport is on 3 points. The tournament particularly is not going so well for him, but his win with Pragnananda definitely lights up his spirit. And I love how both of them are analyzing with great interest, and